Hi, I hope your chess gets better no matter what your ability or level. So here we go. The first game I've got for you today is what I have called a big scalp from USA. Very highly rated. Now, what was I going to say? Let's get into it anyway. So this is 5 Minute Chess on chess.com. So obviously I'm black here. That's interesting. I prefer to play 94 here. Always comes up, doesn't it? C6, just bolstering up my D5 pawn. So making sure it's not going to be that flag taken by my opponent. Bishop F4. Now what would you play here? I'm not saying, as per usual, I'm not saying that it's the best move in the world. So anyone who's seen my games thus far will see the G5 move. Now this could be considered very bad, but I'm finding it's very good. Knight H5. So play another typical move of mine is F4. And can you see what's going on here? So if Knight F6 check after this, what do I play back? So F4, Knight F6 check. What do I play next for black? And then what happens after, if you see what I'm saying, Bishop D2. So I'm going to go here after Knight F6 because black is threatening some things here. After Knight F6 check, I play Knight F6, Bishop D2, and what finished the game next move. Yes, good on you, you saw it. Knight F6, so I've just played F4, and the knight's looking a bit funny out here on its own, even though it can take with check. Knight F6, and I recapture with the knight, not the bishop or the rook, because then that would invite possibly bishop takes knight or something like that. But the thing is that black's going to have this pawn taking, and then there's going to be the queen attacked, and on E4, on F3 by the pawn on E4, and the bishop attacked on E3 by the pawn on F4. So black recaptures on F6. Now, good on you for seeing it. After Bishop D2, what was my finishing move that made my strong opponent resign? Is Bishop G4. Well done, you've seen it. Clearly the queen cannot evade capture, and apart from black being met with moves that aren't any good, even rook E7, I can either defend by taking or just take the queen and then see what happens after that. But here, just queen takes here. Yes, this might be an idea for white. Rook here, and here I can just take this, or I can take the rook, and then the queen, or I can just go queen f7 or something to that effect, or even queen d7. And here white has no way to save their queen. Okay, so that's that game. The next game is I've entitled Defense, very important in chess. Now this is actually me playing black here in 5 minute again still. This game is where I drop my d pawn, d7 pawn on d6 instead of d5. So here we go, let's get into it. So here I've made a finger drop, it's dropped on my cell phone. So I'm still playing f5. Now I call this defense is very important in chess. Now there is something better for white to have played, I noticed, than they played. But again, I'm playing a very, very, very highly strong rated player. It gets like that when you do reasonably well, David. So I'm keeping the tension by playing bishop here. Now I think probably this move would be better for white or similar than what they play as rook e1. So I get to play h6. So already I'm having to defend because I don't like the looks of knight g5 with obvious intent. So knight f6, well, that's possible. Rook f6, and then we have this d5 move, which looks quite good as white is threatening bishop f6. Now here, if I wanted to, I could actually take this pawn, and I think that black would probably stand well. So anyway, I have got the engine off, haven't I? And so here we go. I'll just check that. Yep, we have. So c4 after e5. I've played e5 and c4, protecting my rook, of course. c4, and then I go knight d7, which this knight has a very nice square on c5, and it can't be easily shifted with this pawn on a5, which prevents the b4 move. Rook c1, knight c5, bishop b1, and so white's wanting to play moves like this and investigate my king side with their queen and bishop battery. Bishop c8, so I wish to meet it with also after queen here I can just play e4, but then I have bishop f6 to worry about. So knight h4. So this is sort of like controlling this square here, the f5 square here. By knight h4 is obvious intent of queen c2, and there's no bishop f5 for black, because then the knight would just take it for nothing. Okay, so here we go, g5. That's what David Weegenaar played. Now queen c2. Okay, we're going to let the queen in here. We take the knight. Okay, so we're defending. I admit that, no problem. Queen h7, king f8, and now we've got bishop g6, which is basically threatening queen h8 checkmate. So I lifted this bishop because I had already kind of worked this out, but now I play a move that I think, yeah, I played bishop g5. I'm glad I played that because I was thinking, did I play bishop g5 here? Now I've got to be very careful here because here comes this rook, and the rook's threatening check, and if I put the bishop on f4, because I can't put it on f6 because of rook f6 check, so here I have to think, well, if I put it to f4, then black would be met with queen takes h6, check, and the bishop can't take back because the rook's pinning the king, pinning the bishop to the king on f8. So I have to think on my heels quite quickly. I play bishop g4. Now, is this any good? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. h3. If f3, then I just move my bishop back to d7. And then I'm feeling quite safe and comfortable. Because the rook can't go there anymore, can it? Because the pawn's in the way. That's what happens a lot in chess that Nimzowitsch says. If the pawn moves there, you can't move your piece there. So anyway, h3. So if I move my bishop back to d7 as previously mentioned, then rook f3 check. Then rook f3 check is very, very painful, although I have got this. But then we have this check, and clearly the queen cannot be captured. Anyway, back to the game. So we've got bishop g4, h3, and then bishop d2. So this is the move, whether or not it's any good or not, I'm not sure. hg4, and I play bishop c3, because this is the rook that's causing me problems, not the one for free back here. This one's for free, but it's not really, because of rook takes rook check here, etc. is no good. Have I stuffed up this game? Yes, I have. Okay, so I'm just going to open this again. I'm going to open another game. I'm opening the first game. It's my fault. And then I'm going to open up the second game, which is called defense, very important in chess. So you get to see the moves again, whether they be good or bad. And here I took this rook on c3. Queen g5. I'll just turn the engine off because I haven't done that. Queen h7. Now, what do I do here? What can I do? How can I continue here and still look like I'm doing okay? Because what do I do? Here, black is threatened with here and here check, which is not very nice for black. So what do I do? I could play e4, could I? But then I have queen h8 checks and that sort of thing happening. And I have to watch my rook, of course, too, on a8. So anyway, I'll play rook e8, and here comes rook e3, as previously mentioned. And here, can I play rook e7? I had to think very quickly on my heels here. Can I play rook e7 here? No, because of rook f3 check, and then is that the one I saw? Rook f3 check, or is it queen? Here is this line, new variation, queen h8 check, and here if queen here, very embarrassing for black because of rook f3 check, etc. and others are similar. There are other lines there after king f7. Rook f3 is very embarrassing for black. So here I have to play e4. I think I might not be completely correct, and here black plays the smart f4 move. Now this is very good in lightning chess, because if I go queen f4 here, then what does black do? What does black do about their king on f8? Not very much, because queen g7 here is checkmate. So if this, then just here is checkmate, or if you're so inclined, bishop here check, bishop takes, pawn check, and bishop takes queen. So that's not very nice. So very good move, f4. Of course, if I play en passant, then white just plays rook takes, pawn, f3 check, or queen h8 check, and if queen g8, then rook e8 check, king e8, and queen g8, taking the queen for nothing. So after f4, very good move, especially in lightning chess. I have to be very careful. So what do I play? I play queen g4. I'm not taking the poison pawn on f4, which will leave me in checkmate. Now comes queen c7. And here I play knight d7. Whether this is any good or not, I'm not sure. And I play king here. If I play rook up, then I have rook takes pawn to think about. Rook e4 here. And that would be quite reasonable for white, I believe. So king f7. And this is very important in chess to be able to defend. If one can't defend in chess, when it gets a bit frazzly, then they can have issues with it. Queen here, rook there, and rook g3, king f1, and queen f3 checkmate. That's that game. The next game for you today, and thank you for watching, of course, and that sort of thing, is what I've called attacking chess with a poor end. You will see what I mean possibly at the completion. So keeping it simple, knight c3 is the line that I'm playing of late in the Sicilian as white. Now these pawns are not the greatest for black, so black would like to get rid of them, maybe through an exchange if white helps them by taking this pawn, and vice, then the c pawn can capture on d5. So really it's a little bit of a trade-off for the bishop versus the knight. So as my friend said, it's like a Nimzo Indian or so in the one queen pawn opening. Bishop e7, knight f3, just queen e1, which is very, very thematic. Bishop a6, which is trying to alleviate this bad pawn and get a better position. So I play b3, preventing same. Now queen g3, bishop f6, bishop e5. So do I want to put this in here? No, not really. I just play knight g5 from and h6. Now some people I know would just leave their knight there, but I'm a bit chicken. I play knight h3, and here comes c4. Oh no, black's finally got to a position where they might be getting rid of their bad doubled c pawns, and then they've got two bishops. So I play bc4 and d4. Now if c3 here, because black's sort of getting away with all this, f5. So here I'm just threatening this, and that's very, very powerful. So black plays ef5. Then I play bishop h6, which is just threatening the very powerful queen takes pawn g7 checkmate. So black plays g6. Now I play another move which is also very powerful, because it starts to eradicate black's fabric of pawns protection around their king. So if this move here, then everyone can see that queen g6 and the next resulting move is checkmate. So if you time it right. So black has to react to this, you see, because I'm probably a wee bit annoyed that black's got rid of their problem of their double pawns, because they threatened to just take here, unless I just play d5, which I don't. So I play ef7, of course, and if rook f7, well, I'm just going to take straight away queen g6, aren't I? And then queen takes rook and threaten queen g7 checkmate. So black takes with the king, sadly. Now maybe black should just give up and play king here or something like that. They play king takes. They play knight e5. It's not hard to see these moves. Knight g5, and I'm not saying they're the best moves in the world. And bishop f8. I sort of think, well, I might as well take this rook while it's there instead of leaving it there forever. And now I allow a check with the bishop c5. I'm being a bit sarcastic there, but the thing is that this is looking very, very bad for black. So my opponent really should probably resign, especially with their king on my d5 or on d5. Queen b6, neither here nor there. Rook d1, bishop d4, c3. I do not want to have anything attack my queen. So I play rook d4. This is very sad, and I don't think it's very good for black to play this way. In particular that they're playing for their country as well. Oh, I just noticed that my rook is on pre. I didn't see that, but did I? Now if bishop takes rook, then I have queen c5 check, or I have queen c6 check, but I probably have queen c5 check and queen c6 check and queen takes rook. Everyone can see that. So rook c8, queen b3, so this is poor, but we also did have very little time. But the thing is I believe that this is poor of black to carry on like this. Okay, that's the third game, and now the last game for you today, and I hope you have enjoyed, is game 4. So we have a Scandi, or Scandinavian, or centre counter gambit, which I play however I play against it, whether it's good or bad. This is why I chose to play it. Right, now knight g6 opens up my opponent's h file, and still my h file is closed. So we have another repeat of last time, where black's just wanting to play queen here, and in the absence of my knight, it's a possibility that I might allow queen h2 to checkmate. Now we come up to an auto move that black played. I played rook f3, thinking, well, okay, you can throw your queen into h2, and I'm just going to go king f1, which this might be actually better than what black played. But here we have an auto move. Okay, black played queen e7. Can't even say it because they're worried about, they thought I was going to play bishop f4, so they play queen e7. I play queen e2, just continuing development. Bishop f4. So if bishop takes bishop, rook takes bishop, queen takes pawn, I play rook f7. So very simple stuff. Bishop f4, rook f4. So as you would see, if the queen takes the pawn now, I just take the pawn with my rook on f7. Here we're threatening rook takes pawn and h4. Now protect my pawn. King b8, and I'd play this differently now, but now I more or less force black to move their knight back to defend their f7 pawn, and I play a queen g3, threatening rook f7, c7 check and winning the queen at least. Black plays queen c7, and if my king was protecting this, it still wouldn't work, so I won't talk about it. Queen e3, now I think I dropped the ball a wee bit here, but my opponent is very strong. So here my opponent's threatening just queen here, and oh no, they're not, sorry, excuse me, they're threatening this anyway, or c1 check. Now if I play it silly here, queen here, and this check, and if I play king here, which the opponent of the computer is telling me to do, then I believe that this is not too bad for white, for black, for white, for black. Even though I can get away here, it's just not the best in the world, is it? I could probably play this, can I? After this, I can go back here, and I've sort of regrouped. So that's quite fun. Anyway, we'll go back to the final part of this position. Now I play the easy to find move. What is it? Yes, you saw it. It's very, very easy to see. It's just queen, please, next move, regardless of what one you play there. King here, and my opponent resigned. There's nothing black can do to defend the knight, and the rook's pinned, and my king is safe with these pieces round. So that's the end of this chess session. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for visiting your YouTube chess channel, and as mentioned before, if you want to get a nice Mazda and you live in Auckland region in the North Island, or even if you live in the South, think about buying from John Andrew Mazda, especially new or second hand. That's all for me, David Weegenaar, over and out on the Muppet Show.